Welcome to Grace and Strength. I'm Allison with Awaken and Free, and today's class is one of a 6-part series, today's being I Am Heard. And so this is somewhat of a heat-building flow. We'll start a little restorative, build up a little intensity, and then bring it back down. So if you want to add more to the practice, feel free to pause and go through the flow that we do, maybe 1-2 more times, whatever works for you. So we'll get started when you're ready. So for this practice, we're going to start down on our backs. So find whatever posture there works for you to be in a place of meditation for the next few moments. And again, we just want to jump right into our belly breathing, that part of us that roots into the practice, that keeps us in the here and the now. If you find your mind wandering throughout our time together, the breath is what draws us back in. So with the breath, just starting to find that slow inhale and exhale, evening it out, just like you feel a wave kind of moving through your body. Inhale moves up the front body, and then feel it round the shoulders on the exhale and move down the back body. For this class of I Am Heard, I've been camped out a lot. If you've been following any of the other classes that I've done, I've been a lot in Psalm 91. It's kind of been really close to me the last several months. And I just want to read one verse out of that. It says, I will answer your cry for help every time you pray, and you will find and feel my presence, even in your time of pressure and great trouble. And I know for me, this idea of you will find and you will feel, it's not just that you will, I love the idea that we will feel God's presence. Part of my story is at 18, my mom died, and it was one of the most tragic things that had ever happened to me up to that point, and even really to this day. And I was so incredibly broken, and I just remember crying out to God and just saying, like, God, how do I even move forward? How do you even live the next day at this point? And just that desperate cry. And when it says you will find and you will feel my presence, I don't know how to describe it, but it is true. I have felt it. I have felt God hold me and hear me, hear those places of just desperation and longing. And so I don't know what you bring to your mat today. I don't know the places where you've been crying out, just needing to know God is there, listening, working. But my prayer, my hope is in this time that you could let it be a place where you cry it out. If you start to cry in your mat, let the tears come. If you need to work something out and add in anything extra because you just need to physically move, take that. But just knowing that God is not silent, your prayers are not silent, and that you would feel and find and feel God's presence in this time. So as you're ready, you can find yourself with bent knees, bringing the soles of your feet about hip distance apart. And just cross your right ankle over your left knee. And then we'll just start to thread the needle. You can hug that left thigh in towards your chest. And just do a little hip opener to start here. So let your shoulders melt down. This is a bottom body pose. So let the upper body find space to relax. Just slowly find that deep breath here, opening up the hips, acknowledging the places where you're crying out. What do you need? And we're going to start a little bit, as we're on our back, we're going to start with some core stuff. So from here, we'll straighten the left leg up. Bring your hands down at your sides. Let the shoulders roll down, root down. Keep that right knee pushed away, and let's start to slowly lower left leg. Once you feel like you've lost the engagement in your core, come back up. So find where you can hover, and then slowly reach back up. We'll do 5 like that. As you exhale, lower down. Inhale back up. Exhale, slow, lower. Notice if you're trying to grip in your hands or in your jaw, can you soften? Just try to really focus on using core muscles. Keep that right knee moving away from your body. Last one. Inhale, back up. Hug both knees into your chest just for a moment. Rock it out. We'll take the other side. Left ankle crosses over right knee. Thread the needle, interlacing the hands on that right shin or behind the thigh, whatever feels right. Just finding 3 full breaths here. Keeping your left foot flexed. And then when you're ready, straightening that right leg, hands come at your sides, and then start to work that left knee away from your body. Draw the navel down to the spine, full breath in. Exhale, lower. Just find your edge. Maybe it's right here and you come back up. It's okay if you can't go that far down. Be where you are today. Reach back up. 3 more. Feel the core kind of quiver and shake. That's good. You're doing the hard work. 1 more. Coming back in, hug the knees. And then take the knees directly over the hips, and the heels are in line with the knees. And we're going to do yogi bicycles. So typically when people do bicycles, they draw the knees in towards the chest, but we want to keep the knees stacked over the hips. Bring the hands behind the head. And as you extend the right leg long, you're going to just reach that right elbow up towards the left knee, but keep that knee over. You don't want to bring it in, so keep it stacked. Inhaling back center. Exhale, twist. And it's slow. So can we be sitting in the slow work? Sometimes we cry out and we have to wait a while. It's not always this immediate response, but can we feel God's presence in the waiting? Just quieting us, saying, I hear you. It's just not time yet for whatever reason. But we keep moving through, holding that truth. We are heard. We will find and feel God's presence. 2 more each side. Inhaling to center, exhaling to twist. Last ones. Then hugging your knees back into your chest. And then we'll just gently rock and roll forward, coming to forward fold at the top of our mat. Just dangling here for a moment, maybe a bend in the knees, hinge towards the front edges of your feet. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Again, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Last one. Inhale, halfway lift. As you exhale, we'll step back to down dog. Walking it out. Opening the hands wide, rooting into the thumb and pointer finger. Notice if you're dumping in your wrists, can you lift the forearms out of your wrists? From here, right leg lifts. Shift forward, knee to nose, step the foot between the hands. As you inhale, rise up, crescent lunge. Just holding for 2 to 3 breaths. If you feel like you're dumping either way, you can find a slight bend in the back knee, neutralize the pelvis, and then start to straighten the leg. Next, exhale, opening up, warrior 2. Front heel, blades aligns with the back arch. Rooting in, settling in, what are you crying out for? Rooting into the truth that you are heard. As we release, straighten the front leg, reverse back. Then inhaling back, warrior 2. We'll just flow back and forth a little. Exhale, straighten and reverse. Last one. We're gonna move to flying monkey, so straightening the right leg, turn the toes of the left toes out. We'll come down if you need to support. We want this right leg, the heel roots down, toes pointing up. Maybe you can start to balance the hands to the heart. If that's too much, keep the hands down. Let that be a little balance for you. If you want to open your wings, take a bind. Just 2 more breaths here. Make this your own. And then we're going to actually turn towards the back of our mat. So bring the hands to the front. We'll just kind of pivot our way. Come to the ball of your back foot. Inhale to rise. From here, put the weight into this left leg. We're going to step up, right knee in towards your chest. Hugging the knee. Maybe just stay right here like this. Or if you want to take the peace fingers around your big toe and start to straighten the foot, the leg out. Draw the shoulders back, heart forward. If you're working really hard and you're hunching, just stay here so that the heart stays lifted. Maybe you open out. With all this movement, set your gaze. Breathe into that spot that's not moving to ground yourself. Come back center. Bring that sole of your foot into tree pose, inner thigh, calf, or maybe you have a little kickstand. If your leg's burning, you just need a rest. Take one of those variations. 3 breaths. Inhale, arms reach up, right knee into chest, stepping back, crescent lunge. Hands come down. Vinyasa, flow it out. High to low push-up. Take a breath, take a moment, reset. We never want to get ahead of our breath and have our breath trying to catch up with us. So just take a moment, deepen your breath, and then when you're ready, left leg lifts. Shift forward, knee to nose, step the foot between the hands. Inhale to rise up, crescent lunge. Keep engaged in this back leg. Let the heel start to work over the toes and keep this right thigh pressing up. Next exhale, open up, warrior 2. Adjust your stance as needed. And then really hug the arm muscles to the bones as you reach here, gazing over that middle finger on the left hand. Can you find a lightness in the upper body as the legs are rooted? Next, inhale, straighten the front leg, reverse back. Inhale or exhale, warrior 2. Inhale, straighten, reverse. One more. We'll come to flying monkey, straighten the left leg, pivot the toes back to neutral, and then turn the right toes out, bending down. Heel roots down in the left foot, left toes point up. Can you balance on that heel on the right side? Again, options, opening your wings, binding, if you can take that. Or fingertips down, keep that spine tall. And then as you're ready, start to just pivot back towards original front, come to the ball of the back foot, reach up, crescent lunge. Putting that weight in that front leg, we're going to step right up, hugging the left knee into our chest. Staying either here, draw the shoulders back, heart presses forward, or big toe grab here. Start to extend. If you have a strap that you want to use or a scarf, then draw that left shoulder back. Maybe opening up. Set your gaze and just move with intention. Trying to keep the hips leveled, root into that right foot, and then lift out of the right hip socket. Coming back center. Hugging that knee in, finding tree pose on this side, either to inner thigh, calf, or little kickstand. making it any expression with your hands. Last breath in. Left knee into your chest, step it back. Crescent lunge. Exhale, come down. Vinyasa. Full breath in. Exhale it out. One more like that. From here, deep bend in the knees, look towards your hands, step or float to the top of your mat. And then just come down to seated. We'll scooch ourselves back, pressing the backs of the knees down onto the ground, arms reach high. Toes are pointed, and then we'll just start to reach as though somebody's pulling your arms forward. Stay long in your spine once you find your edge. If you can reach your feet, go for it. If not, hands just come at your sides. Draw the shoulders back, heart forward, then chin to chest. I will answer your cry for help every time you pray. And you will find and feel my presence, even in your time of pressure and trouble. So have you gone quiet? Have you stopped asking? Can you just turn your voice back? Let God respond. Stay attuned to his voice. So ready, walk yourself back up. We'll take the left sole of our foot into the right inner thigh. Or if you have it in your practice, you want to take a half lotus, we'll just take the pinky edge of our foot into that right hip crease. If you're working really hard just to try to do that and your knees really high up, just stay here. It's the same thing. But if it's here, you can make sure that knee's coming down. Another variation, if you want to grab for that foot with the left hand and then square the shoulders back center to fold. Or you can fold here. Or again, keeping that sole of your foot in, we'll just fold forward again. As you're ready, walk yourself back up. From here, keeping the left shin towards the front of your mat, we'll just stack the right shin. I'll turn towards you so you can just see that better. And if your knee is really high up, feel free to place that a pillow or block or towel, anything you have, just kind of right here. And we'll just keep that right foot flexed and either stay lifted if you feel this really intensely here. If you want a little extra and you can fold into it, just walk yourself forward till you find that little edge where your body says that's enough. And then just chin to chest. Letting the breath kind of let you surrender in. Settle deeper. Take you a little further than you've been. As you're ready, start to walk back up. Uncross the legs, maybe just gently shake them out. And then we'll take the right sole of the foot to the inner thigh, or you can do that half lotus again. Just do what works in your body. And then we'll start to walk forward. Drop the chin to your chest. 5 full deep breaths. Be in this quiet space with God. Notice if it's uncomfortable. Notice if it's just been a while since you've been quiet. Sometimes we don't think God hears us because we haven't taken the time just to listen as well to what God wants to say. Next inhale, start to walk back up. We'll bend we'll take the right shin to parallel. Stack the left on top. Again, placing something here. If you feel that left knee is lifted, we want it to be hugging in close to the right inner foot. Again, stay here, lifted and tall, or just slowly walk through with intention till you find your edge. Don't push past it. Don't force your body to do things that you want it to do. Can you just let your body be where it is and find your breath here? One more full cycle of breath. And then start to walk yourself back up. We'll just take our feet as wide as the mat. Hands just directly behind you, kind of find a lift. We don't want to round. We always want to avoid this kind of posture. Shoulders back, heart lifted, and we'll just windshield wiper side to side. Because I just think it feels really good. Let the gaze go the opposite side of your knees. And then as you're ready, we'll just make our way back down onto our backs. Hugging your knees into your chest. So you can stay with your knees hugging your chest, or if you want to start to shift into happy baby, that's also another option. You just reach for the inner soles of your feet. Let the knees start to stack over the shoulders. And then we want the full length of your spine on the mat. So just gently guide your tailbone back down, and maybe there's just this slight rocking side to side. And some practice that I've kind of set in place in my life the last month or so has just been to wake up each morning and take a few moments just to acknowledge, like check in with myself. Where am I feeling anxious? Where am I overwhelmed? Where am I frustrated? Where am I excited? Like, what am I feeling when I wake up? And just taking a moment to give that over to God, whatever it is, whether it's just giving praise and gratitude, whether it's just confessing, just using my voice to speak to God. And then doing a little movement, just like we've been doing here, to work out what's in my body and then listen. Because I love this, that we will find and feel his presence. So as I've just made it a discipline to come and show up on my mat and confess these places of anxiety and frustrations, and it's like I can go into the rest of the day knowing I'm heard, knowing I feel God's presence. And then I just ask God to show me, to open my eyes and my ears to where he is in the day, what he's showing me, how he's moving me towards peace. And so I just encourage you with that simple yet really profound practice, just paying attention to what you wake up with and letting God hear where you are, because he longs for you to converse with him, and then listening. So from here, whether you're hugging your knees into your chest or you're in happy baby, just straighten the legs up towards the ceiling, maybe point and flex the feet and roll the ankles. Just taking a moment to let the blood flow reverse for a moment. And then we'll just hug the knees back into the chest and then let the legs go out long, finding Shavasana. Wiggle out the legs, release any tension that you feel in your body, so you can fully just surrender here. Notice if you're gripping in your jaw still. I know that's a place where I try to control and hold on, but this is the part of the practice where we fully let go. And as you're here, this is the most valuable. And so all the stuff that's built up within you, you've worked up a sweat perhaps. You've shared and confessed where your thoughts have been in this practice, and God has heard you. And now just be in the presence of God and listen. What does God want to speak to the places where you have been consumed, where you've been, that keep drawing you back? Noticing this peace you feel in this moment in your body. That's what it feels like when we find and feel God's presence. Even if we don't have the answers yet for the things that we're waiting on, we can still have this peace because His presence is felt. Our voice is heard. God is doing something beneath the surface, even if we haven't quite seen it yet. So take time to be in those words, whatever amount of time you have left to be on your mat before you either go into the rest of your day or before maybe you go into bed. And it is a joy and honor to lead you, so thank you for showing up once again.